TG Geeks, episode 234, August 12th, 2019. Imagine, if you will, a film festival that is unlike any other. Hello and welcome to another webcast from tggeeks.com, where Ben and Keith, the Two Gay Geeks, talk about all aspects of geekdom and nerdery. Sci-fi, comics, film, horror genre, you name it, we talk about it. I'm Keith Lane, and we're coming to you from TG Squared Studios in lovely Phoenix, Arizona, with the sneezy, schmutzy stuff in my throat here. I can't talk well.
And I'm Ben Raggington, coming to you from similar ailments.
Yikes.
Yes, we both have some
allergy crap, and the air is horrible.
Well, the air is dreadful. We always tend to get kind of schmutzy. I guess that's the new adjective if you live in Arizona long enough.
Yep.
but you get into monsoon season and everybody gets schmutzy.
Schmutzy.
That's the term.
It's a schmutzy day. Okay, let's get on with it.
It's the schmutzy season.
Prepare for hyperdrive.
Meanwhile, in the Hall of Episodes, the Two Gay Geeks are discussing this.
Well, by my little stinger that we had earlier, we're talking to Miguel Rodriguez from Horrible Imaginings Film Fest. This is their 10th year, and Miguel tells us about Horrible Imaginings, and we kind of reminisce about things that we've experienced ourselves, and it's just a fun little interview. Also have our birthday shout-outs, our podcast of the week, and the feedback, and then we have a couple of things that we'll talk to you about in the second segment, as well as our weekly recap, and then our shout-outs. So let's get on with this show. And this time we have a really special treat. We have Miguel Rodriguez, who is, if you will remember, if you've listened to the show before, he is the director and the chief cook and bottle washer, janitor, everything for Horrible Imaginings Film Festival. And I say it's a real treat because we haven't talked to Miguel in a while, and they are celebrating 10 years of the film festival this year. Welcome back to the show, Miguel.
Thank you. Yeah, nothing says treat like bottle washing, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's right, you do. You really do. I forgot. I said that. It was kind of, my Freudian slip is showing.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah.
It has been too long, but alas, time does fly. So
yes, it does. Oh my God!
It felt like too long. It just has been.
I know. It seems like just yesterday we were there, and for the 5 days that you did, and we saw, what was it, 76 films?
Oh, I think it was over
like
80
that.
actually.
Oh my gosh, it was craziness.
We watched every one of them,
every single one of them.
Yeah, it was quite an achievement.
It was, and they had some really great stuff. And I think the topper was the Greasy Strangler.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I still laugh at that. I mean, and I always remember, how when that was over, you were sitting in the back row with us, and then when that was finished, you walk up and he said, "I don't think I ever heard so many what the F's in one viewing," which was true. I mean, that movie was such a WTF moment.
And we tell people, you have to see it in a group. You cannot see this at one or two people.
You're absolutely right.
It has to be.
Yeah, that has to be shared. It's a shared experience.
You lose a whole lot if you try to watch it on Amazon Prime or something.
Oh my God! No. Anyway, so tell us, 10 years, that is quite an accomplishment for a film festival that you literally started on a shoestring.
I am getting beeps. Forgive me.
That's all right.
Yeah, 10 years. I gotta say, there's an awful lot of white in my beard now. But yeah, I'm happy to be able to say that we're in double digits now.
Wow.
I'm looking forward to hopefully offering a celebration worthy of that milestone. That's my plan.
Yeah, and since we have been involved, you've done some moving around a little bit, and you have a different venue. So tell us about that. Tell us all about that whole thing and how that's going for you.
So yeah, wow, this is a long story, so I'm going to try to make it brief.
That's all right.
But I've been working with an organization called Art House Convergence through my affiliation with Film Festival Alliance, and after last year's Art House Convergence, the 2018 edition in January, which takes place during oh my gosh, my brain. Biggest film festival of all time.
Oh, Cannes.
Yeah, no, not Cannes. In Utah.
It's at Sundance?
Yes, Sundance. There we go.
It takes place during Sundance.
What is that thing up there?
Yeah. Yeah, it was in January. It takes place during Sundance. It's a gathering of art house theaters from largely around the country, some international as well. And I ended up getting approached by a cinema that is in Orange County, about an hour and 20 minutes north of San Diego. It's called the Frida Cinema. I'd heard of it because their programming is really interesting, and I've been following their social media, and they're fairly young in its current iteration. It just celebrated 5 years a couple of months ago.
Wow.
The theater itself has been on that block a long time, but it's under a new management, a new vision. It's really grown dramatically since the new owner, Logan Crow, took it over. And so they approached me after seeing me speak on a panel at that convention. Oh, wow. And we got to talking. They invited me to come visit the Frida because I hadn't actually set foot there before. I went up and I watched a film, and I took a tour, and they invited the festival to take place there.
Wow.
Which, yeah, wow is pretty much how I reacted too. And San Diego has been a rough city in a lot of ways. It's not a very cinema friendly city. We had a good following,
right.
But it was really tough to grow, and it was really tough to find like press and people to really care.
Right.
And certainly venues, with venue like at MOPA, which is the venue you saw, that was actually our third venue alone in San Diego.
Oh my.
And they were about to jack up our rent by about $3,000 extra dollars on top of what they were already charging us.
And then give it being, well,
yeah,
we'll just stop right there.
Yeah, we could keep going. But, it was, so there were a couple of things going on. I had found out literally 2 days before I went up to tour the Frida that our rent was going to be jacked up by quite a substantial amount.
So you were ready to say, yes, I'll do it.
Well, it was an interesting coincidence, and the other thing that was kind of a startling difference for me is a venue that actually wanted us,
right,
as opposed to us desperately just trying to find a screen that was worthy of the films we were showing.
Right.
What was for years an uphill battle pulling teeth suddenly was being offered to us with the curtains being drawn for us.
Right.
So that, that means a lot. That says a lot. And they were, they said all the right words. They were looking for a partnership, and they were looking for to be to spread the word and be a beacon for the festival, and,
cool.
and to put their own efforts and marketing efforts behind it too. Also, the Frida Cinema is located on a very busy block in what is now a rapidly growing section of Santa Ana in Orange County. Mm-hmm. It's a largely Hispanic, Latino population, but it's growing the restaurants, the storefronts. It's a very active neighborhood. And where we were before was in Balboa Park, which is actually my favorite part of San Diego. It's really beautiful. But the drawback is the park closes at like 4 p.m., mm-hmm. as does any food or any. So we were actually spending extreme amounts of money to bring food into the park after hours so that our guests could be fed, and our audiences could be fed. So we don't really have to do that anymore. So that was another bonus.
Right.
So it was a mix of being offered a place with a venue that wanted us, with saving thousands of dollars right off the top. So a financial consideration was in place. And frankly, like, the audience for genre cinema is more enthusiastic in our new location.
Interesting.
It's the apathy isn't there.
Right.
We've only had one film festival so far there. Our first year there was the 2018 edition, but I've done lots of monthlies now. I presented Night of the Demons, Fright Night, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Nightmare Cinema with Mick Garris, and I'll have directors there. I even interviewed the writer of Bloodsport before the screening of Bloodsport.
Wow.
Which was a lot of fun. But, these are like, all of these shows are like selling out in this big, like 230, 250 seat theater.
Wow.
And
I was going to ask how big it was.
Yeah. Well, there are 2 theaters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we've got 2 screens. It's a great cinema. It's got 2 screens. Each one's over 200 seats. It's got concessions, so we've got sodas and popcorn. We didn't have that at Mopa.
Exactly. And you can take it in.
And you can take it into
the theater. We were always smuggling in candy the last several times we were there.
The contraband comes out on your podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I speaking out of turn?
Yeah, so how many seats was in at
Mopa?
At Mopa, that was
122.
122, yeah.
No, 222.
Oh, 222.
Yeah,
okay,
so
Mopa
it's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah.
It was roughly the same size. So what I'm curious is, it sounds like that you have this really great savings on your overhead now. So with the new cost that is now in place, plus the location, is that actually altering in some fashion the size and scope of Horrible Imaginings these days?
Yeah, well, we're working on that. Yeah, so it's definitely grown. We've definitely been able to have more guests, but what I'm looking toward is kind of a 5 to 10 year plan of, that year that you went, that was 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That ended up putting me in debt. Like,
yeah.
Oh my!
I'd heard about that.
Yeah. So we would like to be able to extend the festival a little bit, like we did that year, but this time do it in a more strategic fashion, so I don't end up in debt.
Right.
So yeah.
So are you utilizing both theaters for the festival, or just one?
We are, but not for films. So right now, what I really don't want to do until we grow the audience to justify it is I don't want to cannibalize one screening by having another one happening concurrently.
Right.
I Right now, with one screening, we have a nice full theater. But if we had two different ones happening at the same time, I'm afraid of having two half-full theaters.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm not a fan of that.
Films competing. I mean,
yes,
we've been doing
Phoenix
Film Festival, and they'll have a block of shorts, and they'll have 5 features, and they take up it. What is that's a 24. They'd have 12 theaters, full, running for 2 weeks, and it's like, oh my God!
Yeah, but luckily, a lot of those blocks are kind of, they're shifted around, and the blocks are repeated. So if you didn't catch it on one day because it was conflicting with something else, there's a possibility of you catching it another day.
But not always.
But not always. And while I loved that for Phoenix Film Festival, because the nature of what they're showing, they're going to be including films that are not exactly in my wheelhouse. But with Horrible Imaginings, there's nothing there that I want to miss.
Right.
Every time we've been, it's like, I do not want to miss a single one of these movies.
You have converted us, Miguel.
Oh, in the biggest way. I mean, every time I was there, I did not want to miss. I mean, even if it's a subject matter, like the one time one of the movies was cannibalism. Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah, not my favorite subject. However, I still had no desire to miss any of these movies. And so with having programming going on in both theaters, if there's no chance for repeat showings, then I don't know. I don't know if I would like that, for the fear of missing something. I mean, okay, great. I'm seeing this one movie in this theater, but oh man, I don't want to miss this other one.
Because we trust your programming, and we trust you.
Oh, your programming's been great.
I mean, you are probably one of the best programmers out there of films for genre films.
Thank you. I'm going to try to keep the tears inside. I'll definitely be sharing this podcast.
but seriously, it's the truth. I mean, as Keith mentioned, I mean, I remember the first time we had you on, and you really opened our eyes in terms of what horror represents. And I have become such a lover of horror films these days, and especially of the independent market. Yeah. I mean, I fondly tell this tale about how we had gone to Horrible Imagining several years ago and had just had the most amazing time. And then we come back from San Diego, and I've got a press screening for a major studio horror film, and it was a piece of garbage. I mean, and I had no qualms in just tearing it apart. I thought it was absolutely dreadful. And so for you to find it was Blair Witch. I wasn't going to say.
Yeah, that was terrible.
God, it was such a bad movie. Yeah. But to see these wonderful independent films that you've managed to bring in, I mean, I not only do I have to tip my hat to the amazing filmmakers who have created these things, but the fact that you've got the eye and the reputation to be able to find them and bring them to the masses, I think is an amazing gift for everybody.
Well, I have to give credit to, we've got a team screening these films, and we have meetings where we discuss them. They're all over the country now, so we have to find a time that works for people who are calling in from Toronto, Canada, and other parts of the States. As we have grown, the number of submissions we're getting is growing, and the number of eyes that we get on the films is growing. But yeah, like, what we're really looking for is a program that kind of tells a holistic story at the end of the weekend. As you know, we try to group, especially with the short films, those are the most fun to program because you can group them in a thematic way that tells an overarching story. We've got a short film block this year that I'm calling This Mortal Coil. And the short film block as a whole has an almost narrative quality, as it's the first couple of films are about birth, and then there's a couple of films that take place during childhood, and then there's a couple that take place during adolescence, and then adulthood, and then old age, and it just kind of follows that pattern. And that was really fun to program. It was. I'm really proud of that one.
That's cool.
So it's like making a mixtape when you put some of these together.
Good analogy.
Yeah.
And people are saying, some of our younger audience are saying,
Mixtape?
Mixtape? What's that?
Think iTunes playlist. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, exactly. It's like making an iTunes playlist. Goodness.
Oh, Lord, you're showing your age.
All of us.
All of
Always
us.
do.
Yeah.
With pride.
Yeah. So you have 10 years under your belt, and it doesn't sound like you're slowing down at all.
I don't think so. I have no intention of slowing down because there's a lot more to show and a lot more conversations to have.
Oh, absolutely.
And, every time I feel the creeping of fatigue, I will watch something that energizes me.
Right.
And it's those things that end up usually getting programmed.
Right. Well, that's great. I think that, you do a great job, and I appreciate what you are trying to do with your film festival and to do what you did to us.
Yeah.
Convert us to appreciate genre film and what a moving media, shall we say? Because our perception of what horror was so far off of what it is that you try to do. Yeah, sure, you have some of those films that are a slash and
jump scare,
jump scare and blood and gore and guts and all of that. But a lot of the films that you program are very sophisticated and very well put together. And as I'm fond of saying, and I came up with this anything that happens that's out of the ordinary could be considered horror.
Yes. So, that is basically, our definition is it's an expression, films that are an expression of fear or anxiety. That's what we're looking for, especially like right now, where I feel like we're all living in some spectrum of anxiety.
Exactly.
This is these films. One argument is like I'm already dealing with this in my daily life. Why do I want to watch movies about it? But
it's kind of cathartic.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how I get it off of my chest. It's
exactly.
Like it's hard to have these conversations that without them just turning into, spit flying arguments where,
yeah,
through the lens of something like cinema, where you have characters in extremis and themes that echo what you might be feeling, like I find it really cathartic. And a lot of this edition, this year's 10th festival, is dealing with just that. We've got another short film we've got another short film block called Shock to the System, and all of those are about where the fear it lies in systemic things. It's not a killer with a knife. It's things like objectification or apathy or domestic violence or something like
it's very
that.
Topical.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And our panel is focused on our horror for humanity segment, which we've always, for the last several years, we've had our horror for humanity picks. And this year we're going to have a panel focused directly on that, because we have one pick, which is a world premiere called What Daphne Saw. And it's actually a futuristic sci-fi, very good, very excellent film from an upcoming director named Liz Marshall. And a lot of it deals with the topic of human trafficking.
Wow.
And there's even a partner in making this film called Not in Our City, which is a Texas-based group that is fighting human trafficking.
Wow.
And they will be there to discuss that and talk about some of this stuff. We wanted to make sure we had people who can, because these are kind of tough subjects, you know. So,
oh yeah, people that know about it and know how to talk about it. And
absolutely,
yeah.
And we'll be showing that short film and having the discussion, and then there's going to be a second Horror for Humanity short film that we're discussing as well, called Conversion Therapist, and that one is in the title.
Yeah,
I think we get it, that one.
Yeah.
We get that.
I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a much. I would say even that film wears its rage on its sleeve a little more.
Really.
As you can imagine, but you know, the director is a trans woman, and one of the actors is a trans woman, and so we want to make sure we have that conversation going as well.
Bravo.
That's great.
Bravo. I couldn't be happier to hear that.
Yeah. We saw a film. What was that we saw at Phoenix Film Festival? The trans. Oh shoot.
Oh, good grief! I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, it took place in New York, and she was a cab driver or a driver, and was in transition, and it was just
it was very brutal,
heartbreaking,
a very brutal movie.
Yeah, in the garden or something.
Yes, that's something like that.
But
I'm gonna have to look for that. That sounds like something I'd like to see.
Oh my God, it's just heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's really heart-wrenching. It's not a horror. Although it could be,
yeah,
I think I almost classified it as horror for humanity in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, especially the way it came out.
Yeah,
especially the way it ended. Oh my God!
Wow.
We are so running up against the red line, and there's so much more that I want to talk to you about, but we don't have the time. So, if people want to learn more about you or more about Horrible Imaginings, and learn everything there is to know, where it's taking place, the scheduling, all of that. Where can people go in terms of a website, social media, to learn all of that?
Well, the big password, well, not password, but the secret word is HIFilFest. So that's, HI, Horrible Imaginings. That's shortened to HIFilFest. And that's our website, HIFilFest.com. On Twitter, it's HIFilFest. On Instagram, it's HIFilFest. The only one that doesn't quite match is on Facebook, where it's just Horrible Imaginings. We're in all those places. We're active all the time on those places, as you are both quite well aware, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we've got lots. So if you want to find out more about what we're showing, when we're showing it, it's in all those places. Oh, also, we'll have Zombie Ballet.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And this is Labor Day weekend, correct?
That's correct.
So
Labor Day weekend at the Frida Cinema, like Frida Kahlo.
Yeah, in Santa
Ana.
Yeah,
in Santa Ana.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Miguel, for being with us on the show this time.
Oh, I had a blast again. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Hi, this is Miguel Rodriguez. I am the founder of the Horrible Imaginings Film Festival, and I am pleased to say that you are listening now to the Two Gay Geeks.
It's always great to talk to Miguel.
It was such a great conversation. I wish we had more time.
Yeah, and even though the Skype connection was just a little woofy, we still kind of got everything we needed there. For some reason, Skype is being a pain in the butt right now. But here's a few selected birthdays for August 12th through August 18th, 2019. August 12th, Erwin Schrödinger. Is it his birthday or is it not?
Is it not? Yes. The answer is maybe.
Maybe. Also on August 12th, Cecil B. DeMille. Who was it that we were watching something the other day and says, I've killed more people than Cecil B. DeMille.
Yeah.
What was that? Who said that?
Oh my! It was Gene Wilder in Blazing Saddles.
Oh yeah.
I must have killed more people than Cecil B. DeMille.
Yep. And when we were in Los Angeles last over your birthday, we went to Hollywood Forever.
Yeah.
And I think we drove past his grave
we
like
couldn't
a dozen
find it.
times, but there was always somebody behind us, and I wasn't about to get out and walk.
And we didn't want to walk; it was too warm.
Yeah, it was too warm. And we're always ready for our close-up, Mr. DeMille. Also on August the 12th, Cantinflas. It's your mother's favorite comedian. He's a Latin American comedian that she loves to watch.
Okay.
She says, when I'm down and depressed, I always watch Cantinflas.
Didn't we buy some DVDs of Cantinflas for her when she was recuperating?
Probably.
I think we did.
Also on August 12th, Michael Kidd, choreographer, and Mark Knopfler, and Buck Owens. Interesting.
Hee-Haw.
Yeah, from Hee-Haw. His sound, Buck Owens and the Buckaroos, they termed it the Bakersfield sound, and he liked to call it American music, but he was on Hee-Haw, which actually started as a response to Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it certainly outran that. It ran for 231 episodes over 24 seasons. And interestingly enough, Buck Owens bought the radio station KNIX in 1960s.
Okay.
And he didn't sell. He sold it in 1998. Yeah, so interesting. So the little Phoenix connection there.
Huh.
Like you're interested.
Well,
It's like, I don't care.
Well, I was never really a huge Buck Owens fan. I mean, I was more into Roy Clark.
Yeah, well, that was, yeah. So then also, interestingly enough, Porter Wagner was also his birthday on August the 12th, and he was the one that introduced Dolly Parton to the world. She was on his show for years and years, and then went out on her own. Also on August 12th, Jane Wyatt.
Mrs. Sarek, Mama Spock.
Oh, I thought she was in Father Knows Best.
Well, that too.
Oh. Yes.
But I don't care.
But you don't care.
No. I'm just happy that Amanda, that's all there is. Amanda
Grayson, yes. And also, finally on August 12th, my cousin Larissa Falconberry and a friend of ours, Kathy Cresswell. August the 13th, Sebastian Stan, Alfred Hitchcock.
Okay, I mean, what, you expecting me to say something?
Well, I thought you might.
No, I mean, everybody knows who's the Sebastian Sebastian Spanner.
Suspension Bend.
Yeah, Suspension Bend.
Suspension
Suspension Bend.
There we go. Also, Annie Oakley and Danny Bonaducci. And Don Ho.
Tiny bubbles.
Yeah, I've heard a story that as he got older, he really went into dementia, and
I'd heard about that,
and had to quit doing any concerts because he couldn't remember the words to his songs. You know, he just kind of out there, and that happens, and that's too bad. Also on August 13th, Christine LaBruna Fiore.
Oh, Mrs. Crazy Joe.
Mrs. Crazy Joe, yep. August the 14th, Magic Johnson, Steve Martin, Doc Holliday, Gary Larson, who is probably my favorite cartoonist ever, The Far Side. For you people that don't know anything about The Far Side, please check it out. Oh, my God.
Lost childhoods if you have not grown up with The Far Side.
Yes. Also, Alice Ghostly, the female Paul Lynde.
yeah, she was a housekeeper on Bewitched. I'm trying to remember what her character name was.
Esmeralda?
No, Esmeralda was the mother.
Right. No.
That's Endora.
That's Endora. Esmeralda may have been.
Is it Esmeralda?
Who knows? Anyway, also on August 14th, David Crosby, Facebook friend Jason Youngdale, and the other Keith Lane.
Not you.
Not me. Yes, not me, that's for sure.
One funny thing, if he doesn't have it anymore, but every once in a while I would find his Facebook page, and he had as his profile a picture of Gort. Like the same photo you took when we were up in Seattle at the Museum for Pop Culture.
Yep, exactly. And the interesting thing is the guy, Alex, that sold us our first Subaru.
Oh, right, yeah.
Was from upstate New York, and Keith is also from upstate New York, and they knew each other.
No!
Yes, seriously.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yes. I think it's Rochester. Is it Rochester? Or
Rochester sounds right.
Anyway, but yeah, they knew each other, so it's kind of funny. August 15th, Ben Affleck, Julia Child. Yes, Wendy Hiller. Now, I saw that name on there and I thought, Wendy Hiller.
We know her.
Why does that remind me of somebody? Why do I know that name?
We've heard her voice.
Well, we've also seen her. She played the Princess Dragomirov in Murder on the Orient Express. That's why I recognized her name. Because every time we watch that, I say, who the hell is that? And then I look it up. Oh, it's Wendy Hiller.
Yes.
That's who it is. And Leon Theremin, his birthday on August 15th. So we'll play some. And Irene Huang Glover and Ann Roberts, who left us. We miss you, Ann. Left us way too soon. August the 16th, James Cameron, Steve Carell, Angela Bassett, Leslie Ann Warren.
I adore her.
Madonna, and good friend David Wagner. August 17th, Robert De Niro, Sean Penn, Larry Ellison, who is the founder of Oracle, one of our technical overlords.
Okay.
Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier, on August 17th. And Mae West, and Samuel Goldwyn, and Maureen O'Hara, who was actually called, she had the nom de plume, shall we say, of Technicolor Queen. So, or the Queen of Technicolor. But she actually starred with Charles Laughton in the 1939 Hunchback of Notre Dame, which was not a Technicolor film, by the way.
No, it wasn't.
Also, on August 17th, former coworker and friend Shar Kerrigan. August the 18th, Patrick Swayze, Christian Slater, Shelley Winters, Meriwether Lewis and Clark, Meriwether Lewis. Wow. Robert Redford and Antonio Salieri, who
when one hears music like that, all one can say is Salieri.
Salieri. Who knew somebody could write music like that? And that's it for the birthdays this time.
Technorama, the podcast for geeks, because geeks are better than cool. You don't hear someone say, "Get away from me, you cool person." Who's gonna have their 65-inch home theater system installed by the Cool Squad? Not me, that's for sure. How much cool cred do you have? Not enough to care about. Think you'll find any canned unicorn meat at thinkcool.com? It's just a part domain name. They don't even have roadkill in a paper cup. That's why you need to start listening to Technorama, because that's what geeks do. Go to chuckchat.com and listen to Technorama before you turn cool.
Go give a listen to our friends Chuck and Craig over at Technorama Podcast. And let's see, what do we got now? Here we go.
I'm Daniel Radcliffe, and I believe that reaching out for help is the bravest thing a person can do. If you are struggling and need support, call the Trevor Lifeline at 1-866-488-7386. It's free and confidential, and trained counsellors are there to listen 24/7 without judgment. To learn more about the Trevor Project's life-saving work for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or questioning young people, go to thetrevorproject.org.
Okay, I got a little bit of feedback I want to run through really quickly. Starting off with regarding Ben's breakdown, Yesterday is a movie that sadly doesn't sing. Got a comment from John Smith on Twitter, and he says, "That's a shame. I bet this was a fantasy that a lot of people had." Now, I read that, and the first thought that ran through my head was, what, people having fantasies that the Beatles never existed? I can't fathom that one.
Or that they discovered the Beatles.
Or that they discovered the Beatles, or
that they were the Beatles.
Or
or they wrote the songs the Beatles
wrote.
wrote.
The songs the Beatles. Yeah, whatever. Then I got a comment from Hamish Downey. He says, seems like this might be a movie where one has to check one's brain at the door and just enjoy the music. I'm not Ed Sheeran's biggest fan. His career and success baffles me.
Yeah.
But it sounds like he has a good moment in the movie. The joke in the trailer about Coldplay's Fix You is funny. But the truth is, without the Beatles, there'd be no U2, and subsequently, there'd be no Coldplay. It would be interesting to show in cameo form. All these acts inspired by the Beatles just doing odd jobs like being a music teacher or cleaners or something like that. Like having the B-52s, inspired by the Plastic Ono Band, as running a thrift store. Yeah. Or having Ono herself running a dry cleaners where she gives the main character sage advice. Yeah. Wow. And then he asks, Ben, in your opinion, how does this compare to Across the Universe? Well, sorry to say I've never seen it. I don't know anything about Across the Universe, so I can't comment on that. Check the brain at the door. You know, I would accept that the movie doesn't allow you to. That's the problem. It prevents you from checking your brain at the door.
Ooh.
Yeah. The big MacGuffin in the film makes it impossible to check your brain at the door.
Uh-huh.
That's why I could not. Anyway, moving on to regarding TG Geeks episode 228. And this is where we got to interview Zachary Wheeler. And he says, just in time for the release of Thursday Midnight, Book 2 of The Immortal Wake. Had a great chat with my favorite podcasters. Oh,
who's that?
TG Squared Studios. Zachary.
Who are they?
Oh, please. Zachary, we love you. And you're having a great chat about the new book and what it means for the series, now available on Amazon on Kindle. And following up on that, we got a comment from Arkle. He says, it came up in the episode, so I'm just gonna... I think it's past time we admit that the whole sparkling thing is by far the least of Twilight's problems, if you can even call it a problem, and not just a fair typical example of a writer trying to make their vampire lore stand apart from the crowd. The sex negativity, the normalizing of stalking, the casual racism against Native Americans, all of these are much bigger problems with the book. But of course, the book was popular with teenage girls, so this country had to destroy it. And the most obvious angle of attack, especially once the movie hit, was the sparkles. And with all of that, I'm calling an end to the feedback for tonight.
Yes. Well, if you want to leave a comment, you can do that, just like Arkle did and the rest of them. You can leave a comment on tggeeks.com on any article or any episode. You can do that also on Facebook at TG Squared Studios or on Twitter and Instagram. We also have a listener feedback line. If you so feel like calling our feedback line, leaving a voicemail, and we'll play that on air, and you can be famous like us. But you have to use your podcast voice when you do the voice. No, just kidding. Just leave us a feedback. We'll play it on air. It's a lot of fun sometimes. Please, 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 somebody. You can call 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357. Did you hear the fly saying, please, please, please? Please play nice. Well, up next time, we have D. Estelle.
Hal.
We have Hal.
Hal Estelle, not
D. I was thinking about D earlier. I sent her a message.
D is Hal's wife,
yes.
in case anybody's wondering.
We have Hal Estelle, who's going to tell us about CocoCon. And here's a little clip we extracted from that interview.
As it always does, yeah. It's the standard thing in fandom. As soon as you volunteer for something, you know, you're hooked in there. You can't ever leave.
The only way that you can leave is if you die or move. And
right.
then sometimes maybe not necessarily.
No, moving, not an option. They find some way to haul your butt back into the circuit. You can never get away from a move. No, it has to be death. And even then, I'm surprised that no one has actually started a seance, you know, or drawn a pentagram on the floor in the hopes of actually resurrecting the dead soul. That's how our fandom works here.
Every now and again, we have a ghost of honor.
Yeah, hey, that's an idea.
We have a ghost of honor.
Let's do that. You should suggest that. I'm not going to suggest it because then that's kind of like volunteering.
Yeah, so. Good point. Although once this goes out over the air, you're in deep trouble.
Yep. If you are in transition or have already transitioned and are in crisis, or you know of someone in crisis, there is a special hotline just for you. The hotline is provided by translifeline.org and staffed by specially trained counselors who are transgender themselves. The hotline in the U.S. is 877-565-8860. In Canada, it is 877-330-6366. Or you can go to the translifeline.org for more information about the important work they are doing. Please reach out for help.
Yeah, baby. They're like two gay geeks. They're together, you know. They're two gay guys and they're geeks. Is that okay?
You were sitting over there during the break as if you were pained or something.
No.
You're just listening, huh?
Just listening.
Aha. Now it's our second segment. What are we talking about?
Well, we mentioned this in the last episode that we were going to be seeing something Saturday night, and now it's time to talk about it. We saw Weird Al.
Oh, my Lord. What a crazy show. I had never seen one of his shows, nor even seen one of his bits. I just heard some of his, snippets of his songs on the radio or, wherever. But, oh, my Lord, what a show.
It was mental.
It was just the craziest thing ever.
I loved it.
I did too. It was so, some of the humor is just, it's so deep and so sophisticated sometimes, yet still fun at a high level.
On a very cursory level.
Yeah.
It's terribly entertaining.
That's kind of like you can listen to a song of his and kind of get it, and because some of the famous ones like Eat It and My Bologna and all of that.
We were talking about that on the way home. I mean, there's a number of songs, and I think this is where he sort of made his claim to fame, where he would take lyrics from popular songs and then write a parody based on the meter and the rhyme of it.
Right.
But now he's doing things where he's actually satirizing the subject matter.
Yeah.
And those are the songs that I think are just absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. What was the word?
Word crimes.
Word crimes.
Oh, that was hilarious.
My Lord.
I loved word crimes.
It was crazy. And then the send up of the song "Smell Like Teen Spirit."
Oh.
Nirvana,
that's a great one. That refers to what I was just talking about, because now he's not just making fun of the lyrics; he's making fun of the fact that he could not understand a damn thing.
I don't know what I'm singing.
Right? Yeah, the words are indiscernible.
Yeah,
no offense to Kurt Cobain, and to be honest, I actually like the song "Smell Like Teen Spirit." It's a fun tune, but I like how Weird Al was able to lampoon just the mere fact that he couldn't understand it.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. And the audience was very much into it.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a couple of really great shots. And there's the one really beautiful, call it beautiful. It's a love ballad about spending one more night with you, or one more minute with you.
Right.
And this is a song I've heard, he released it years ago, and he is just really having a lot of fun with people in the audience.
Yeah, it was great.
Like pulling his boxers out of his pants. And, it's a very visual show.
Yeah. And he ran up and down the aisles and came right. I mean, he was like within
3 feet.
3 feet of me when he came down the aisle. I got a really nice shot of him.
The whole show was fantastic. I really loved it.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. I mean, obviously there are songs that I would have loved to have heard.
Right.
Because I just happen to be big fans of them. I mean, I really wanted My Bologna, and we didn't get that. But we did get Yoda.
Oh, God.
Which is a complete setup of the Kinks' Lola, and from what I understand, he's never performed that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and he had several costume changes, and oh, my gosh.
But I like how we managed to fill in the time by running clips.
Yeah.
Things that he's been in. There was a nice clip from the movie UHF that he was in. So the whole show was really wonderful. I enjoyed it enormously. I'm so glad that we got to go. We saw Chuck.
Yeah,
Chuck Tomasi was there along with Jack Mangan
and
Lee Whiteside,
Scott Tyler,
right,
and Beth Cato.
Was there. Our cat sitter was there.
Yeah, our cat sitter was there. We never get to see her.
No.
We always communicate via text, but
yeah, she actually
got to see her.
She actually saw us as we were wandering the lobby.
Yeah.
So it was really wonderful. I mean, it was a great little get-together for nerds.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I had a great time with it. So we have just... I'm gonna run a review on this later on, but I'm gonna make this really, really quick. We just finished watching CBS show Blood and Treasure.
Yeah.
I got a review coming out for that. That'll be coming out probably later this week, Tuesday or Thursday. But really quick, one sentence, honey?
Check your brain at the door.
Okay, there you go.
All right. Wrong. That's not in the script. That's not till later.
I expect to hear the record scratch.
Yeah. Where is it? Where's my record scratch?
There
we go. A little too late, but there it is. We are huge supporters of independent creators, whether they're filmmakers, comic book artists, writers, or other. Please, if you see independent creators, buy their stuff, talk about them, talk to people about them, have cash for them. Please consider supporting independent creators. CocoCon returns for a second year. Next week, we're going to talk to Hal about CocoCon. It's Labor Day weekend at the Doubletree Hotel in Metro Center, Phoenix. Come on down and join the folks at festivities. We'll be there doing our popular concast as well as socializing. CocoCon.org for more information. Joshua Tree Feeding Program. The goal is to provide nourishment to the low-income HIV-positive residents of Maricopa County. They provide balanced meals from the pantry, and it's just like a grocery store. Please consider supporting Joshua Tree either through a single gift or a monthly recurring gift. They also have the Pearl Program. Go to jtfp.org. And now something new, the Red Dress Ball. The Grand Canyon Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence are hosting their third annual Red Dress Ball on November 16th at the Parsons Center for Health and Wellness. Proceeds go to Joshua Tree Feeding Program and AIDS Walk Arizona, sponsored by Aunt Rita's Foundation. More details soon. Now I can do this.
Okay, quick little weekly review, starting with Sunday, August 4th. Dr. Zombie, Monster Family Physician number 60. On Monday, TG Geeks episode number 233. On Tuesday the 6th, at a press release, who are you going to call? Ghostbusters, The Devil's Rejects, UHF. All this apparel at Fright Rags. On Wednesday, August 7th, HBO announces September lineup. Also, Andrea's Angle, the movie Brian Banks. She calls it extraordinary. On Thursday the 8th, another review. Andrea, she says, scary score. Oh, my goodness.
Scary
stories.
Scary stories.
Stop it. You're going to really derail me. More so than ever. Scary stories to tell in the dark. All about stories. On Friday the 9th, News Sushi number 74, morsels of news from Japan and beyond. On Saturday the 10th, HBO launches new recommended by Humans Tool.
Yep. Find all these at tggeeks.com as well as entries on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Please visit and comment.
Have a couple of shout-outs we need to make. First, to the Arco Times Post Dispatch News for republishing our content from time to time. That is put out by the Human Arkle. You heard a comment from him a little bit earlier. And you can find the Post Dispatch News by going to Twitter and searching for Arkle, at ARKLE. He also has on YouTube the Shameless Cash Grab, which is in season 3 still, I believe. I'm not sure, but I believe it is. And you can find that by going to YouTube, Arkle Studios, all one word. And we must give some shout-outs to a couple of Facebook groups for allowing us to post our episodes and relevant articles on their pages. First, to Gay Geeks After Hours. When I asked them if I could share our content, they did say share away, and share away we do. Their URL is facebook.com/group/Gay Geeks After Hours, and then to The Gay Geek for also allowing us to share all of our geeky stuff there. And their URL is facebook.com/group/The Gay Geek, with always our special, most heartfelt thanks to their moderator, Jeremiah Reeves.
Yes, thank you, Jeremiah. And lastly, we can now be found on Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher.
Found on.
Well, now, yeah, as always. As well as, where am I? As where... you derailed me. And lastly, we are now found on Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, as well as where other fine podcasts can be found. I had to start all over. Also, check us out on Krypton Radio at 3 a.m. and 3 p.m. Pacific Time on Tuesdays. Listen to their other content. They are a 24-hour geeky internet radio station. Please rate us and review us on iTunes, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
That was our YouTube channel. I was like, wow, I love the enthusiasm.
Okay, that should do it for this episode of TG Geeks Webcast. Be sure to check out the article for this webcast episode. We will have several links about things we talked about in the episode. And remember, you can comment on our Facebook page or our website, tggeeks.com. Or you can leave us a voicemail at 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357. From TG Squared Studios, I'm Keith Lane. Thanks for listening. Please be kind.
That the NPR voice?
That's the NPR voice, yes.
Cheers.